is how many of you actually create releases and move them around in the system? Okay. This first one is basically will have the most interest to you. To the rest of you, it's basically information where if you want to look at a release and find out who has it, because what ERS is, it's called an electronic release system. It's basically a tracking and approval tool for releases. That's its function. It's a tracking and approval.
Some of the people here probably have started to do it. I'm assuming you guys are new enough that you haven't done the release yet, right?
Yeah, not yet.
The plan will be that you will be using it.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
Basically, if you're, quote, a design engineer of some sort, you will create a release. Like if you're from ME, you'll be approving releases. If you were from PDC, you'd also be approving releases, things of that nature. I'm going to go over a real brief definition, how you access it, your default screen, how to determine if the release actually needs to be looked at by you yet, how you take action on it, and a review of various tabs, and some miscellaneous ERS information. As I said, basically ERS stands for Engineering Release System. It's the first major web-based program that Daniel came up with. So since most of you are younger and worked with web-based systems for quite a while, it's rather clunky compared to a lot of newer systems. It's functional, but it's clunky, given other newer tools. As I said, it's a tracking tool for routing, tracking, approval for drawings and releases. This just discusses releases because I have a whole nother presentation for drawings. Basically, the people that are interested in this are what we call launch control management changeover. They're basically the group that actually allows us to activate the releases. Your engineering documentation group, any of your draft people who are in charge of checking your drawings, product data control group, which Cindy and Daphne are part of. Purchasing gets involved, quality assurance gets involved, and your standards department gets involved. So a lot of different groups look at them, and some of them have approval authority. Okay, basically, how do you get into ERS? Basically, it's right in your engineering portal. Yeah, so you hit in the work tab, which you get into, and it's right. It's like the third one. If you're an engineer, these are your automatic defaults. So it's like fourth one down. All you do is punch it, and it'll take you to. For most of you, it will take you to the screen that lists the releases that you're in charge of. That's if you're classified as an engineer. If you're classified as a designer, what it'll take you to is the screen that is the default for the drawing function. All that is basically a different tab. So if you go into one tab, you can then basically jump into the other tab fairly readily. The screen basically shows you the releases that are assigned to you. You can also find out the drawings that are assigned to you. And if you want to, you have the ability to, in essence, search other people's queues. Hit this all queue. It gives you a whole list of everybody's initial, and so you can click and look at somebody else's queue. You might not be able to do anything in that queue, but you can look at it. Okay. First thing is basically you see your release queue, make it actually fairly readable, enlarge it, and you will notice that in essence in this queue you have ones that are de-emphasized and ones that are highlighted. The ones that are highlighted, if you're an engineer, this is what your queue will look like. It will have everything that is assigned to you. The ones that, in essence, you have an action to take on are highlighted. If you were a PE, an ME, or somebody in purchasing, the only thing you'd ever see would be the highlighted ones. So you'd only see the ones that you have to take action on. Same thing with your PEs. They only see the ones that they have to take action on. They don't have a list of all your jobs and everybody else that reports to them because it'd be too cumbersome for them. Okay, this is how basically, just like any web-based system, how you get to it. You hit the little one that's highlighted, and it'll take you over to what we call the DE8 screen. All this is a replica of DE8. So this way you can look in ERS, look at DE8, read it, and then go over to the route approve button. Again, this is, like I said, is a routing and approval system, so it doesn't blow down to show you parts or anything like that. Like you guys have all gone through the releases, right? Okay. All this does is show you a picture of DE8. You can't do anything like blow it down and see like parts underneath of it like you can in the actual DE menu. Just see what DE8 looks like. So the function you're interested in is the route approve. And in essence, you highlight your name, you put a little check mark in your name, and then in essence it'll route it. Once you put the check mark in your approval, hit OK, it moves on to the next step. And you're basically done with it at that point in time. But let's say that you found something that